The world is changed.
I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost, for none now live who remember it.
The Lord of the Rings, created by the author J.R. Tolkien, has seen a fair share of adaptations, but none of them compares to the Peter Jackson trilogy. The first movie was released in 2001 and the third one in 2003. The films have won 17 Oscars, and let's see why. First of all, the thinking of the movies.
Did you have some kind of mechanism, in a sense, so that you could make sure that you were true to Tolkien?
Well, we didn't want to put any of our own, certainly in terms of the thematic material, we didn't want to put any of our own baggage. I mean, we had no interest in putting our messages into this movie, but we thought that we should honour Tolkien by putting his messages into it. And we thought he cared about things. The countryside and the rise of evil, and he cared passionately about certain issues. And we thought what we should do to honour him is to make sure that what he cared about ends up in the movie. That's what we tried to do.
So you can see, those movies have some passion, a vision, it has a heart. The cast is perfect, every single one of them. And I don't say that often for a movie, but they are all perfect. The music of The Lord of the Rings is just beautiful. Howard Shore really captured Middle-earth vibe with his music. I mean, here's some samples.
Come, my friends, the Ents are going to war. It is likely that we go to our doom. Last march of the Ents.
He composed, orchestrated and produces the film's trilogy music to their perfection. The CGI is simple but perfect, not like some other studios that have abused their CGI workers to their limits. Marvel. I mean, the CGI of Gollum is now 20 years old and it looks just gorgeous, beautiful. And the movie gets the win with the orcs and many other things are practical effects, and there is only CGI where it needs to be. I mean, sure, Marvel does CGI, there is something special about the practical effects and the real thing that CGI just can't replace it. I'm not saying always that the CGI is ugly. Sure, we need some CGI where it needs to be, like perfection, but damn, we surely need some practical effects, and The Lord of the Rings surely is the winner in that. The films were filmed back to back in New Zealand. And sure, some changes have to be made for the movies. Like, if you watch only the movies, then you will never know who is this.
Song to sing should you fall into any danger. Oh, Tom Bombadil, oh, by water, wood and hill, by the reed and willow, by fire, sun and moon. Hearken now and hear us, come Tom Bombadil, for our need is near us.
I wanted Stan Lee to play this role. Before they filmed The Lord of the Rings, Hobbiton was built a year before filming, so the gardens could grow. That's called passion, my friends. Some accidental scenes that made Lord of the Rings more beautiful and more real. During the Fellowship's showdown with the Uruk-hai at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, Aragorn faced up against the enemy's captain, known as Lurtz. So basically, the actor was about to throw a real knife at Viggo, but because of limited vision from his prosthetics, he accidentally threw it directly at him. So that's what you see here is a real thing. If he missed it, well, hospital. When Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas were searching for Pippin and Merry, and they found a pile of burning corpses, with anger and grief, Aragorn kicks an orc's helmet. The thing is, the helmet kick was totally an improvised action from Viggo, and the drop to his knees was actually the result of the actor collapsing in pain, broke two of Viggo's toes. When the flag of Rohan gets ripped off by its pole by a gust of wind, for real, it was not in the script. It's a beautiful, symbolic scene since Rohan has fallen, talking about timing and luck. When Gandalf hit his head in the Fellowship of the Ring, it was for real. And those are just few scenes. The Lord of the Rings are truly beautiful, fantastic. I can't really describe them with words. I hate when people say they are too long, but when you watch the whole movie you are like, wait, it's done, that's it. It's so sad to hear that, because movies like Lord of the Rings, unfortunately, they will never be made again, because of modern Hollywood.